mean, what level of kind of relentlessness does it take to actually bring something to resolution?
Yeah, I smile because the relentless pursuit of resolution for our clients is another one of our mission statements, one of our identifiers for our company.
Yep.
Um, so it's very easy for the IRS when you submit a proposal to say no, right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you
like
have
if
appeal
you file a
rights,
healthcare claim, they just say no, right? Like that's automatic.
right?
Then you got to go back. Yeah.
Right. Then you
You
have to
can't take no
combat
for an
it,
answer.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like with anything in life, do you take the first no? No, right? But,
Not if you're relentless. Yeah, you're right.
but the cool thing is we don't just hear no and say, okay, we're going to go on to the next level. We say, okay, wait a minute. What part of this are you disagreeing with? Like, what are you in agreement with? What are you not? And we use it as a negotiating basis. I think the art of negotiation has kind of been lost in our society right now. I mean, you can't just say no and just say, okay, well, I'll go on to the next step. Well, wait a minute, let me understand why you're saying no. What part of this do you disagree with? Because sometimes if you sit down and start picking at it, you negotiate your way into more of them saying, well, maybe yes.
Yeah.
And if they're still steadfast on no being the answer, okay, fine. I know the next step to take. I know our appeal rights. I
Yep.
know in appeals with appeals officers, if they say no, okay, great. I want to have a meeting with your manager. Oh, I want to have a meeting with your territory manager. I've taken a case through the National Taxpayer Advocate
Yep.
Program all
Yep.
the way to the Taxpayer Advocate when it was Nina Olson, and I won. I mean, part of it is knowing, to go back to our game board reference, right? Knowing if you hit a roadblock, what are the other path options that you can take?
Yep.
And even taking our conversation back to the very beginning, when you hone in on one area and you become an expert in it, this is an advantage to having our company involved, is we know the paths that we can take and they're not always commonplace.
Yeah.
We know how far we can kind of climb the ladder in that continued pursuit of the goal that we have in mind, this resolution that should be acceptable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that takes experience, right? I mean, a lot of that stuff you
Yeah.
just have to learn with experience. And I know you've even said sometimes that, sometimes the most important thing is like uh to keep it from getting worse, right? To say
Right.
like, hey, we need to make sure that this doesn't go to the DOJ. Like this is a big thing and we need to kind of stop
Yeah.
it in its tracks because these things can get worse before they get better. So you need to kind of slow down that, I don't know what you call it. I guess it's um disintegration of of the case or something. But these, it's not always that. It's like you're going to be in big trouble if we don't stop this really quick, right? And that takes a lot of, I think, a lot of know-how and a lot of experience. And then sometimes we get through to the IRS. I mean, you got to know how to really talk to some of these people that are kind of big players in there, right? Because I mean, some of
Yeah.
these about the appeal chain, I mean, you really got to know what you're doing, and they will, and they're professional negotiators too,
Yep.
right? They know the game, they know how to do it, so they really need someone with experience on your end. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many cases have come to us where the aggression level of the IRS, right? They're
Oh, yeah.
issuing levies and garnishments on accounts receivable for companies. They're levying bank accounts. And I'll have a client call us and say, the IRS just took $100,000 out of my operating account and 50,000 out of my payroll account. I don't know what to do.
Wow.
Okay, let me call, jump in. And we are more often than not successful in getting those actions reversed within a matter of days.
Right.
So
That's great.
it's,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was it's scary. I mean, sometimes I swear that the negotiation tactic is just a scare. It's kind of like the more letters we pump out and the more threatening they are, the better we can negotiate, right? Because I think they kind of know at the end of the day, like, hey, if the people don't have money, they don't have money,
right.
right? And it's like, you know,